We are proposing to build a new national park in Wood Tikchik, Alaska. This area is a fantastic example of a highly valued and largely untouched piece of the world that has a lot to offer, from various recreational activities to outstanding views and formations from the extensive glaciations and tectonic activity that has occurred there. The area where we are proposing to institute this new national park contains 12 huge glacier-carved lakes which were formed during the Pleistocene glacial period, roughly 2.5 million to 12,000 years ago. Now that we are in an interglacial period, the remaining bedrock basins hold the water that comes from rainfall, snowmelt, and even some runoff from the glaciers housed in the surrounding Wood River Mountains. They are often accompanied by vast U-shaped valleys with steep transitions along the sides from where the valley glaciers gouged out the land, and the resulting lakes are incredibly deep, with the deepest being over 940 feet deep. These lakes are similar to the Paternoster lakes that we learned about, since they are largely interconnected, but the overall shape of the lakes is quite unique in that they run parallel to one another and are so long. Wood Tikchik offers many desirable qualities for a national park, aside from the incredibly well-preserved land that has been so untouched for so many years. The lakes offer a perfect place for float planes to land, which allows tourists to get in while also preserving the natural aspect of the park. In addition, the 6 Tikchik lakes up in the north can be kayaked, and there are already paddling trips in place called pack rafting, where you can fly into Lake Kulik up in the north of the park and float all 140 miles down into Dillingham. In addition, Aguluak and Agulupak rivers offer great spots for fishing.
The mountains that characterize this region are the Wood River Mountains to the west of Wood Tikchik State Park, and there are also rolling hills to the east. The Wood River Mountains have developed since the Paleozoic and Mesozoic eras, when sediments settled in the shallow oceans before the uplifting of the North Atlantic continent, when volcanic activity actually began, and we see igneous rocks on top of these sediments. One can see those dark igneous rocks that formed here and have been weathered by the elements for thousands of years. While some of the mountains are more guarded than others from the elements, there are a few that have formed steep pyres, as can be seen in the image at the top right. One thing we can truly benefit from by creating a national park in this region is the fact that it is relatively underexplored compared to other regions in the United States. Right now, it's only accessible by plane, so it's an untouched area primed for preservation, and it has a lot that we can still learn from.
Wood Tikchik Park is located on an active tectonic area. The general landscape of southern Alaska is created by the Pacific Plate subducting the North American Plate along the Alaska-Aleutian megathrust. The geology of Tikchik consists of lower Paleozoic to lower Cretaceous schirt, clastic rocks, volcanic rocks, and limestone, as well as sedimentary deposits from glaciers. The terrain is made up of 3 structural plates, and due to being bound by several types of faults, such as strike-slip faults and thrust faults, the terrain is a broad anticlinorium being faulted over the upper Cretaceous strata to the northeast. Tikchik rests along the Denali fault system, mainly bounded by the Togiak-Tikchik fault and the East Kulakak faults. Though the geology of this area is rather well documented, the interrelations of the many faults and folds are not, making this a good park for geoscientists to study.
So for my component of the project, I chose to focus on the glaciers and the rivers that are found in this park. And I just want to say to begin that I think this park was really, really cool. I like that it was already in a state park, so it already kind of had a lot of the geographic features to lure in and attract people. And a lot of what comes with these geographic features are glaciers and rivers. And what I thought was also really, really cool is that the entire area is extremely glaciated, and 109 glaciers have been surveyed, while 97 verified active and 12 have been determined to have disappeared over time. And also, when they were conducting the study, they found that 2 new glaciers were actually recently discovered, along with the remains of 17 glaciers that were not originally mapped. So there's a lot of different components to the glaciers and rivers, and there's a lot of different things to see, and I feel like it could definitely lure in a lot of people and be a main source of the attraction in the park.